Imagine a moment of utter despair, when your world is crumbling and you're helpless to stop it. This was the reality for Jairus, a leader in the synagogue. Jairus, a man of status and power, found himself in an unbearable situation. His beloved daughter, the apple of his eye, was at death's door, and he was powerless to save her. In desperation, he sought out Jesus, a man who was at the time considered a controversial figure. Despite his position and the potential backlash, Jairus fell at Jesus' feet, begging him to come and heal his dying child. In the Gospel of Mark, chapter 5, verses 22 and 23, we read, "And behold, one of the rulers of the synagogue came, Jairus by name. And when he saw him, he fell at his feet and begged him earnestly, saying, 'My little daughter lies at the point of death. Come and lay your hands on her, that she may be healed, and she will live.'" In his darkest hour, Jairus turned to Jesus, a man of miracles, hoping against hope for a divine intervention. But life, as we know it, is full of interruptions, and sometimes our greatest tests come in these moments of delay. As Jairus anxiously anticipated Jesus' arrival to heal his daughter, a woman with the issue of blood emerged from the crowd. She had been suffering for 12 long years, and her condition had only worsened despite the efforts of many physicians. Her existence was marked by isolation and desperation, but she had a spark of hope. She believed that if she could just touch the hem of Jesus' garment, she would be healed. And so, drawing on every ounce of her strength, she reached out. Her faith was rewarded instantly. The bleeding stopped. She was healed. Imagine the scene, the crowd buzzing with whispers about this woman's audacious act. Jesus turning around asking, "Who touched my clothes?" The disciples, perhaps a bit incredulous, responding, "You see the people crowding against you, and yet you can ask, 'Who touched me?'" But Jesus knew that power had gone out from him. He knew that a life had been touched, transformed. The woman, trembling with fear and full of gratitude, fell at his feet. She confessed everything, and Jesus, with a heart full of compassion, said to her, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering." Now let's step back into Jairus' shoes for a moment. Every second was precious to him. His daughter's life was hanging in the balance. Yet, here was Jesus, seemingly distracted by another person's problem. How might Jairus have felt? Frustrated, desperate, perhaps even a bit forgotten. But as he watched this woman's faith bring about her healing, he might have also felt a glimmer of hope. Jesus was not oblivious to Jairus' plight. He was demonstrating that even in the midst of delay, miracles could still occur. That faith, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, could move mountains. While Jairus waited, another miracle unfolded, demonstrating that even in delay, hope could thrive. Sometimes, it seems like it's too late, like all hope is lost. Such could have been the thoughts coursing through Jairus' mind as he received the heart-rending news. His precious daughter had breathed her last. The world must have come to a standstill for him. The laughter and joy of his little girl, now but a memory echoing in the hollow silence of loss. Imagine the despair that might have swallowed him whole, the bitter taste of hopelessness threatening to overwhelm. Yet, in that moment of engulfing darkness, a voice emerged, steady as a rock amidst a raging storm. It was the voice of Jesus, cutting through the despair, a beacon in the night. He said to Jairus, as written in Mark 5:35-36, "Do not fear, only believe." Jesus did not dismiss the grief or the pain. Instead, he offered a lifeline, a glimmer of hope in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. In the face of devastating news, Jesus offered a beacon of hope, urging Jairus to hold on to faith. In moments of despair, miracles can unfold in the most unexpected ways. Such was the case when Jesus arrived at Jairus' house. The air was thick with grief, the mourners weeping and wailing, their despair echoing off the walls. Jesus, however, had a different perspective. He looked upon the scene not with sorrow, but with divine certainty. He turned to the mourners, his voice a quiet command in the midst of the chaos. "Why make this commotion and weep?" he asked, his words challenging the accepted reality of the situation. "The child is not dead but sleeping." The mourners laughed at him, their grief momentarily forgotten in their disbelief. But Jesus, unperturbed by their ridicule, asked them all to leave. With only the child's parents and his disciples Peter, James, and John, Jesus entered the room where the child lay. In that intimate, sacred space, a miracle was about to unfold. He took the girl by the hand and said to her, "Talitha kumi," which means, "Little girl, I say to you, arise." And just like that, the impossible became possible. The girl, once lifeless, arose and began to walk. She was 12 years old, at the brink of life, and now she had been given a second chance. The reaction was immediate. Her parents were overcome with amazement, their sorrow replaced with joy. The disciples, too, marveled at the miracle they had witnessed. This account, as recorded in Mark 5:37-42, is a testament to the power of faith and the miraculous intervention of Jesus. It reminds us that even in our darkest hours, when hope seems lost, miracles can indeed unfold. And so, at Jairus' house, amidst the sound of mourning, a miracle occurred. A girl thought to be dead was brought back to life. The mourners' laughter turned into stunned silence, their disbelief transformed into awe. In a moment of divine intervention, Jesus breathed life into despair, turning mourning into dancing. The miracle at Jairus' house serves as a beacon of hope, a reminder that with faith, anything is possible. From this story of despair, delay, and divine intervention, we draw lessons that resonate with us even today. It's a tale that reaches across centuries, whispering wisdom into our modern ears, reminding us of the timeless truths that exist within our own lives. Firstly, we learn about faith. Jairus, a man of stature, fell at Jesus' feet in front of a crowd, begging for his daughter's life. He believed, without a shadow of a doubt, that Jesus could heal her. This act teaches us the power of faith, not just in divine intervention, but also in ourselves and in the goodness of others. We too can harness this faith, using it as a beacon to guide us through life's stormy seas. Next, we learn about patience. When the woman with the issue of blood interrupted Jairus' plea, he could have been impatient, but he waited. He understood that sometimes life throws us curveballs that delay our journey, but delays are not denials. Patience, in its essence, is an act of understanding that everything has its time and place. It is a virtue we all can cultivate, not just in moments of despair, but in our everyday lives. Finally, we learn about hope. Even when he was told his daughter was dead, Jairus didn't give up hope. He trusted Jesus and kept believing. This story teaches us that hope is a powerful force. It is the light at the end of the tunnel, the belief that better days are on the horizon. Regardless of the battles we face, we must hold on to hope, knowing that it has the power to transform our darkest hours into our brightest moments. From the story of Jairus' daughter, we learn that faith, patience, and hope are not just abstract concepts, but tangible tools that can shape our lives. They are the threads that weave the tapestry of our human experience, guiding us through trials and tribulations. In every delay, in every moment of despair, remember the story of Jairus' daughter. Hold on to faith, keep hope alive, and wait for your miracle. In a world where despair often seems to have the upper hand, we need to remember stories like that of Jairus and his daughter. This story, deeply woven into the fabric of human understanding, serves as a beacon of hope against the backdrop of life's many challenges. The lessons we learn from this narrative are timeless and universal. They speak to the human condition, our shared experiences, and our collective yearning for hope and healing. Jairus, a man of stature and influence, humbled himself and sought help from Jesus. His faith was not shaken by the interruption along the way, nor did he succumb to despair when he heard that his daughter had already died. Instead, he chose to believe in the power of the divine, in the possibility of a miracle. Many of us face our own storms, our own moments of despair. But let's not forget the invaluable lessons from Jairus' story. It teaches us to humble ourselves, to seek help when we need it, to stay resilient in the face of interruptions and setbacks, and most importantly, to hold on to faith even when the odds seem stacked against us. We invite you, dear friends, to reflect on these lessons and consider how you might apply them in your own life. How can you embody the faith of Jairus in your daily walk? How can you practice patience and resilience in the face of adversity? How can you hold on to hope when circumstances seem dire? We would love to hear your thoughts, your reflections, your experiences. Share them with us, and let's continue this journey of understanding and growth together. Remember, even in the darkest moments, never lose faith. Miracles happen every day. Be patient, hold on to hope, and wait for your miracle. If you found value in this video, don't forget to subscribe and like. Until next time, keep believing.